the Upper West Side of Manhattan, set among the tree-shaded brownstone neighborhoods, down the street from John Lennon's Dakota apartments, and right next door to one of the city's hidden treasures, the New York Historical Society Museum, stands one of the world's most famous museums, the American Museum of Natural History. Besides being a museum, it's a monument to Teddy Roosevelt, who not only served as New York governor and president, but also apparently invented punk hairstyles.
The cornerstone for the American Museum of Natural History was laid in 1874. And it's back in there somewhere. Actually, they built so many buildings around it, they don't even really know where the cornerstone is anymore. There are 27 buildings that make up this museum, and we're going to try to see every one of them today. Let's go.
The dinosaurs start the moment you go through the revolving door on Central Park West. The suggested adult admission price is $22, but you can pay what you want. Straight through the Great Hall is one of the museum's classic exhibits, the Hall of African Mammals. For decades, the hall's dioramas have amazed people of all ages, and before TV and the internet, halls like this were the only way most folks could see exotic animals in their natural habitats. In the Hall of African Peoples, the rich cultures of Africa are graphically displayed. Next, the Hall of Asian Peoples includes a chilling exhibit of Siberian culture. Asian mammals are next, but after our quick tour of the museum's entry level, Level 2, it's time to get to what many consider the museum's main attraction, the dinosaurs. The best way to see the museum in one day is to head to the top 4th floor, that's where the dinosaurs are, and work your way down. Handy photographic guides on each floor tell you what's around you. When many of us were kids, they told us that the Tyrannosaurus Rex dragged his tail around like Godzilla, and the Museum of Natural History's fossil skeleton of T-Rex acted accordingly. Now the geniuses say T-Rex actually balanced his tail and his front end like a big toothy seesaw. And you know, that kind of makes him even more scary.
Get eaten by the dinosaur?
Continue around the big circle on the 4th floor, and you'll find ancient fish, weird early land animals, and giant mastodons. Some of the newer galleries have big windows and lots of sunlight, but sometimes, if you look, you can find haunting remains of the museum's older, darker days, like this moody mural of flying pterodactyls and their adorable babies. Okay, dinosaurs done. Now we go down to the 3rd floor and more African mammals.
I especially love the parts of this museum that are the same as they were when I was a kid. Like this here, this exhibit of New York rats. Well, rodents actually.
And bats, and lots of birds. The Hall of Primates reveals just how much our monkey and ape friends resemble us. Gives you something to think about, huh? We're heading for lunch now, but we make one more stop on the 2nd floor, the Hall of Mexico and Central America. Lots of Aztec and Mayan art here, including a replica of a Mesoamerican tomb excavated in Mexico. It was created for the 1939 New York World's Fair. As you move from hall to hall in the American Museum of Natural History, you'll come across small exhibits that somehow survived the museum's many renovations. Things like this diorama of historic New Amsterdam, and this exhibit, tucked under a stairway, about the first men to fly over the North and South Poles.
Well, it's a really crowded day at the museum, and the cafeterias are just mobbed with lines going out the door. But here at the Museum of Natural History in New York, I love this place down here. It's called Cafe One. It's a little cafe that's hidden away on the 1st floor near the entrance on the side of the museum, and people don't know about it, and it's a great place to come get something to eat and avoid the crowd.
One of my earliest memories is of being rolled in a stroller through these doors and into the dimly lit hall of Northwest Coast Indians. It's exactly the same as it was 55 years ago, and that's fine with me. Let's zip on through the Hall of Human Origins, and don't step on Mr. and Mrs. Neanderthal, and head for the Hall of Meteorites, and beyond that, the Hall of Minerals. Here's where you'll find some big rocks, some huge diamonds, and the star attraction, literally, the Star of India, sapphire, is the largest in the world. We're taking a shortcut here through the museum's huge shop. Trust me, you'll find something to bring home here. A few more turns and we're in the Hall of Biodiversity, an explosion of creatures related to each other, yet spectacularly unique. This mosquito's a little larger than life size, but I seem to remember one that seemed that big in Florida once. One more right turn and we find the museum's grand finale, the gigantic blue whale in the Hall of Ocean Life. I remember dropping some coins into a collection bin to help pay for this whale when I was a kid, so it's nice to see they're taking such good care of my whale. Downstairs, more sea creatures await, and if you look closely, you may see a giant squid and a whale locked in combat. We'll leave the American Museum of Natural History by way of the Rose Center for Earth and Space, which used to be known as the Hayden Planetarium until the old place was demolished. Here you'll find one of the museum's giant meteorites, a complete sealed biosphere, and some cool science experiments. But really, the Rose Center is a day trip in itself. Be sure to come back.
Well, that's it. A great day at the American Museum of Natural History. We ended up at the planetarium. And you can come here anytime. It's open just about every day of the year. And as you can see the whole place in one day. Didn't think you could do it, did you?
Thank you.